Welcome back, subscribers. Today, get to jump back on the VSC project. Vermont SportsCar. I'm sure you guys been following the uploads that I've been putting up for this. Got all the body work done up front. Got everything flat. It's been a project. It's been fun. This bumper ended up kicking my butt. It was a lot of work. There's a lot of discrepancies and whatnot. You know, even like you can see here on the edge. It's probably hard to tell, but you can see like that huge dimple right there. There's imperfections like that all over the place. So, also, another thing, it's going to slow the process down because, actually, let me show you this. So on the bottom of the bumper, you can see all these holes that were drilled in, but there's nothing that carries out throughout the bottom at all. You know, I'll come around here. You know, it's weird. I'm not real sure why all of these holes are all drilled in here, but they're not anywhere else. You know, I mean, I don't understand why, but they certainly can't stay. You know, I'm going to have to fill them in. You know, that's something that I'm definitely going to have to address, because once this bumper gets painted and it's going white, do you know how much of an eyesore those holes are going to be? I mean, I understand that's going to be underneath the car and you probably won't even see it, especially considering the fact how freaking low this car is. But still, like, in all reality, let's get real. That really, I'm sure it had a purpose with Vermont, you know, with Vermont SportsCar, but I certainly don't have a purpose for that. And I don't think Aaron does either. So, pretty sure he'll see this and be like, yeah, fill that. That looks like Swiss cheese. So, before I get into some dramatic plastic repair, because that takes a long time, and then once you even get it on there, then it takes all freaking day to set up. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this hood sealed up. I might as well get it back masked and mix up some primer. There's really nothing I can do about it, because analyzing the fenders last night as well, I realized that there was a lot of other things that I needed to do before I could actually put it in primer. I'm definitely going to have to address the panel gap down here. You know, I mean, getting the side skirts to fit perfectly with that gap underneath the door, it pulls the side skirts down, versus if I had brought them up to meet where they wanted to be on the rally car, I'm sure, it was going to rub on this corner of this door here and just basically just flake the paint off, and I can't grind into the side skirt. I've got to have a really nice OEM panel gap. You know, I want this to be nice. I want it to look really good. So we're going to have to fill all of this, and the only way to do it is with the plastic repair. You really don't, I mean, obviously we're not going to throw Bondo in there. That's just the dumbest shit ever. Anyone who thinks that you can just fill that kind of a gap with Bondo really should never ever pick up a freaking Bondo spreader ever. You know, don't ever do body work. Don't think or tell anyone that you know how to do it, because if you're using body filler to fill gaps that big, that's just atrocious. It's gonna crack. I promise you it'll crack. It's going to crack. It's going to crack. It's going to crack, especially on the edge. So, number one rule of thumb, it's been a while since I've really talked and gave a lot of tips and whatnot. I've been playing a lot of music and a lot of slideshows and whatnot, time lapses, etc. Just really trying to get the content up there. But I think it's time to get back to teaching you a little bit as we do this. So, number one rule of thumb, you never put body filler anywhere on any edge on any panel. Never. Bondo, body filler, whatever you want to call it. Mud. Back in the day, we called it mud. Yeah, it's not structural. It's porous. It's full of holes. It does nothing but soak up water. It actually will make your panels rust worse than they did without it. So, yeah. Don't use it. If you don't need to use it, don't use it. It's one of those things where it's just a cheap product to fill the area quickly. We can sand it quickly. We can then prime it and seal it and send you on your happy way. Is it going to last forever? No, never going to last forever. So again, rule of thumb, one thing I've learned 20 plus years of doing body work, never ever put body filler on an edge. It's going to crack. It's not made for that. If you want to do some kind of edge retention for strength and rigidity, use actual fiberglass, something strong, or you step it up to the next step, which is freaking metal, aluminum, steel, something like that. You can use carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is stronger than fiberglass just because of the weave itself. It's one structural piece versus most fiberglass is like chop strand. You just put it in there piece by piece, and it's little chop bits, or it's fiberglass filler, or it's fiberglass long hair, or, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things. You can even use fiberglass mesh, and they even have chop strand mesh, which is a bunch of chop strand that just basically kind of halfway glued together. It's not even glued. You could pull it apart. It's just kind of, I think it's been pushed together or pressed together under pressure. So that's how they think. I'm pretty sure that's how they make their chop strand sheets. They may spray them. I don't care, to be honest. I hate fiberglass. I call it fiber trash. If I don't need to use it, I'm not going to use it. I'm a real steel guy. But in this instance, this has nothing to do with fiberglass. That's not plastic. That's not steel. That's not carbon fiber. That's none of the above. None of it. That's Twiltex. That is VSC, Vermont SportsCar part. And the only way to do it, the correct way, is with a true plastic repair. You have to treat it almost like it's a polyurethane bumper. And in that aspect, you better do it the right way. Now, I showed the plastic repair on this bumper, you know, obviously on the channel, and you guys got to see an idea of how to do it. But you can see all of these little holes. Now, I've already sanded this bumper out, but you can see these are the plugs. You have to almost think of them as like fingers. So as you're applying it, it's going to start coming through here like little fingers and, you know, start oozing out of the actual holes itself. That's perfectly fine. That is exactly what you're supposed to do. Then once you lay an entire coat of the plastic coating on here, and it's a two-part epoxy, excuse me, I'm stumbling a little bit. It's a two-part epoxy. Then you're going to put on your mesh. You're going to lay all your mesh in there, and then you're going to soak your mesh again with the two-part epoxy. Then you're going to lay another layer of mesh, and then soak again with the two-part layer epoxy until it looks the way it does. As you can see, it's highly saturated. You want it to bond into the material. Now, that's not all the steps, guys. There's many more steps other than that, you know, in between. You're going to have to grind it out. You're going to have to prep it. You're going to have to run a little mini torch across it to make sure that all the solvents do escape from the property or from the part itself. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's more than I really even want to do. But to be honest, when you have to do it, you really don't have a choice, right? So I want to get it done the correct way and the correct manner that it needs to be done, and that's what's going to happen.
I don't do this for the riches, I'm infected, my condition is I'm always in my head. These words are my religion, I'm obsessed, it's by decision. I'ma do this till I'm dead, yeah. Set me on fire, set me on fire. Whoa, whoa. I'm still alive, I'm still alive. Whoa. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Higher, faster, everlasting. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Higher, faster, never crash. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Stronger. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Stronger. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. I do this with conviction, I write truth and never fiction. My disease is what you fed. I can't stop with my ambition, like a missile on a mission. I'm a force that you will dread. Set me on fire, set me on fire. Whoa, whoa. I'm still alive, I'm still alive. Whoa. Bet you didn't think that I'd come back to life. Stronger.
All right. Looks good. All the dings and pings are out. Everything is all good. Got it all unmasked. Everything is dry. Got it all baked out. I love it. Now it's on to do some plastic repair. That way I can let this set up. It's going to need at least a day to set up. So we're going to go ahead and prep this all from the back side. That's where you do the actual repair, is the back side itself.
Rosemary, heaven restores you in life. You're coming with me through the aging, the fearing, the strife. It's the smiling on the package, it's the faces in the sand. It's the thought that moves you upwards, embracing me with two hands. Right, we'll take you places, yeah, maybe to the beach. When your friends, they do come crying, tell them now your pleasure's set upon slow release. On trial. It took a lifespan with no cellmate, a long way back. Sandy, why can't we look the other way? We speaks about travel, yeah, we think about the land. We smart like all people's feeling real tan. I could take you places, but you need a new man. Wipe the pollen from the faces, make revision to a dream while you wait in the van. Anyway, great smile, sensing in the late night. But hey, who's on trial? Took a lifespan with no cellmate, find a long way back. Sandy, why can't we look the other way? You're weightless, you are exotic, you need something for which to care. Sandy, why can't we look the other way? Shards under the belly, lay some grease inside my hand. It's a sentimental jury and the makings of a good plan. You've come to love me lightly, yeah, you come to hold me tight. Is this motion everlasting or do shudders pass in the night? Rosemary, oh, heaven restores you in life. I spent a lifespan with no cellmate, a long way back. Sandy, why can't we look the other way? You're weightless, semi-erotic, you need someone to take you there. Sandy, why can't we look the other way? Why can't we just play the other game? Why can't we just look the other way?
All right, well, that's where I'm going to end this upload. I've got to let this cure and set up just so I can flip the bumper and I can be able to build up this edge and rigidity, all for the edge for the fender mounting and whatnot. I don't want this snapping off. This stuff's like paper thin already, and just being like a little self leaf here, this really doesn't have a lot of structure. So I really want to carry it all out through and whatnot. You know, same thing with the other side. That's the main reason why I've got so many Swiss cheese drill holes into it, is so I can get those extra fingers of rigidity and structure. As you can see, they pop out. All right, so you have to look at it in almost like an accident aspect. So if this side gets hit, it's got all these fingers to hold it into place, and it makes it uber strong. So another thing too that I've noticed is the reason why the SEM repair works so great with these bumpers is because it is a SEM product. I think I've got a really good inclination of what half of this material is made of. Yeah, so been doing this for a long time, and SEM repair works, and then I flip the bumper over and it says SEM on the back, and I'm like, well, shit. So there's a good chance that that's why the polyurethane repair works so well with it. Yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying the upload. A lot of work, a lot of time, very time consuming. Had to do the time lapse. Not much I can do about that, but I'm sure you got the idea of how the process works. I've already explained it earlier in the video of how it's done, and you got to see how it was done. So with that said, I'm Bill Schneider. This is Rumble Garage. I work on only cars with the stars, Subaru only. Have a good day.